Does he have any problems? Mental health problems or anything?
No. What'd you find?
Huh?
What'd you find? I couldn't see much. She said somebody was in her house.
Okay.
Where's the interrogation?
Did you see anybody else in the house?
What if they're here?
But you didn't actually see anybody?
No.
Okay.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike. And in this sole video, that clip you just saw, if you can remember, that was the horrifying scene an officer arrived to in the middle of the night on a cold summer's morning. It was definitely cold in more ways than one. A man was found sitting in his recliner, shot twice, shot as he slept. His wife, startled awake, jumped up and found him, calling her husband's brother to come and see what he could do. What he could do was jack shit, tragically. There wasn't much anybody could do. Only thing was find the person or persons who had done this, and it just led to lies and lies, enough lies to jam a wood chipper. So look forward to that. And look forward to some of the cringiest Snapchat messages you'll ever see. The acting in this one, let's give it a go. It was warm in the early morning hours of June 18th, 2021. This was in the small town of Traer, Iowa, population about 1,500. It's a part of the country surrounded by farms, and other than that, there's divil a bit. Most interesting thing about the town? Tornadoes, my friend.
That's great and all, but be prepared in case you might have to run. Oh, what is that? What was that?
They look cool. Your tongue would be hanging out, looking for something to do in the town of Traer. Unless that is planning a murder. Because somebody was, maybe it was out of boredom, I don't know. See, about a 7-minute drive west of bustling downtown Traer lies a house. 1846 K Avenue. It's a grey house overlooking Highway 63. The Cooper House. At approximately 4:33 a.m., a 911 call went into the Tama County Sheriff's Office. This is that call. That'll wake you up, that's for sure. I mean, she was absolutely hysterical. It's sort of hard to listen to, isn't it? So the caller, going mad, was a woman named Karina Cooper. What she was attempting to say over the phone was that her husband, Ryan Cooper, had been shot dead in their house. Someone had busted in, there was blood literally everywhere, and she was screaming like in the background to her 3 kids who also lived in the house to like run upstairs, run into the bedrooms and lock your doors.
Are you the firefighter? What happened?
She said,
Where is the ambulance?
Where's the guy with the gunshot?
my brother in the living room.
With the other deputy?
No.
The first deputy arrived on scene almost 7 minutes after that call. At the scene was the same hysterical Karina. She hadn't calmed down in those 7 minutes. And also her brother-in-law. His name was Aaron Cooper. He was the victim's brother. He lived only a few minutes away and he was a firefighter. Karina had in fact called him, Aaron, the brother, before she had dialed 911. I mean, maybe she was thinking, Aaron, He was a firefighter, so, as an emergency responder, he might know what to do if it was possible to save Ryan Cooper's life. Going inside the house, though, Ryan Cooper was found on a recliner in the living room. He had been shot twice in the face. He was pretty dead by this point. As Karina was, as you understandably, losing it, she just found her husband brutally murdered. The deputy asked Aaron, had Ryan had any, mental health issues? Was he, the possibility had to be raised first thing. Who pulled the trigger? Did he pull the trigger? Aaron said no. No, and Karina was screaming that somebody had come in and murdered him as he had been sleeping in that recliner where he always slept.
Help me!
Why don't put her in your,
Why is somebody help me?
put her in your truck?
The shop.
Huh?
Or you can put her in the shop.
Right here?
No,
Oh, you got your brother in there? Is that what you said? You already go in there? Does he have any problems? Mental health problems?
Even Aaron, who'd been called first as he lived, just a couple of minutes away, as he raced over, he had brought his 9mm handgun with him just in case, but he quickly realized that whoever had done this was long gone.
Karina? I need you to tell me what happened. Can you tell me what happened?
A loud noise. I thought something fell.
Then what happened?
I peeked in the living room and then I went to the kitchen. I was fighting.
You didn't hear or see anyone else?
No, what if they're here?
What?
What if they're here?
But you didn't actually see anybody?
No.
Okay. So did he do that to himself?
No way. No fucking way.
Okay. And you came out and he was like that? You turned on the light, you saw him.
What do I do?
Hey, listen.
Help me.
We're here, okay? I'm here for you. Could the thing that you thought fell possibly been a gunshot? Okay. Karina, I need you to sit up. Karina, I need you to sit up, okay? So we gotta figure out what happened, okay? The loud thump, do you think it was a gunshot or not? I know this is hard, okay, but
There was no signs left behind, no firearms left behind, just blood. The body of a hard-working family man, and lots of lies. Oh, and one shell casing that the killer forgot to take with them. That'll come up again. And folks, before we continue, let me talk to you about the greats. And the greats, they're great for a reason. Don't you just love it when a classic comes back and it's good? For example, on the podcast, we have Malibu Mike's horror movie reviews, and there have been some great classics back in action. We had the new Final Destination movie, the new Nosferatu, 28 years later. Well, this July, guess who's back and better than ever? This whole video sponsor Raycon, and Raycon's fan favorite everyday earbuds classic model, now packing active noise cancellation. You know I love my Raycon earbuds, and they just got better. Look at them. Pretty sweet, and they sound sweeter. The Classic just got more class. Speaking of Classic, you already know the Classic awesome features. 8 hours of playtime, 32 hours of battery, 3 sound modes for your pleasure, and also the incredible new active noise cancellation. For me, it's mandatory when I'm doing my writing. I need to be in the zone doing my little scribbles. Am I talking loud right now? That's active noise cancellation. I have no idea. But it's great for any time. Listening to your podcasts, while out and about, watching your favorite movies. Gaming, folks, they are incredible. Not to mention they feel good. No earaches are falling out of my massive head. Their audio quality rivals all the big brands you know and love at half the price. And guess what, partner? Raycon's here, hooking you up. Go to buyraycon.com/chapter to get 20% off fan favorite everyday earbuds classic. Once again, go to buyraycon.com/chapter to get 20% off the fan favorite everyday earbuds classic. Thank you so much to Raycon for sponsoring this whole video. Please check them out as they're helping support that chapter. Now, you and I, let's get back to it. Ryan Roy Cooper was born June 1st, 1979. He was a local boy, lived in Traer all his life. He had graduated North Tama High School in 1998, and after, he immediately got to work on the family business doing, well, what else is there to do around here? Farming. He got into the Cooper family farming business. He was a hard-working farmer, truck driver, and cattle producer, proud to continue the Cooper family tradition. Just like his sister Michelle, she also worked on the farm with his brother Aaron, who was a farmer slash firefighter. And of course, being a farmer, long days are just sort of like, you know, get used to it if you want to be a farmer. It's the norm. Due to that, he often slept in the recliner in the living room, which is where he was found shot dead. He did that for multiple reasons. One, he had to be up early a lot of times, so he didn't want to wake people getting up and about in the bedroom. Two, he was so exhausted half the time after a long day working on the farm, he just like collapsed in the recliner. And three, he snored like the Dickens, if you can believe that, so he was kind of like kept there. He had been married once before Katrina, and he had a son from that previous relationship named Cole. It was, however, in 2009 that Ryan Cooper tied the old knot with Karina Alpers, born 1977 of Dysart, Iowa, now Karina Cooper. They had been dating for about 3 years before we put a ring on her. Their engagement? Sure, it was only featured in the North Tama Telegraph, paper of record, your one-stop shop for North Tama news, baby doll. Together, Ryan and Karina would have 3 children, Cade, Cable, and Cortland, all ready to continue the Cooper family tradition. Karina, she'd been in salons and hairstylings all her life, and most recently, she had her own business, Karina's Lasting Impressions, and she certainly leaves a lasting impression. She'd do whatever needed doing. Barbers, hair, makeup, to-dos, if you can believe that, she did it all, running it out of her home, or rather out of the outbuildings surrounding. The farming space and Karina's own business were sorta intermingled on the property, but the plan was to build their own spaces separately. And the reviews? Boy howdy, they loved her to bits. By most accounts, they had a happy marriage. They went on trips, they went camping, they went on vacation as a family and with friends. People really liked Karina, some of Ryan's friends saying she was like a sister to them. Karina would also say, though, she was a self-admitted Karen when she got drunk, which is a really nice way of saying you're a nasty drunk. And sometimes Ryan could bear the brunt of her nastiness. She'd be getting digs into him. At him, at the work, at the farm. Cooper Farms owned and controlled a lot of their finances. It was a sort of rent-to-buy scheme they were on with the farm. And Karina didn't like it, and she let Ryan know. But there was never any physical violence between Karina or Ryan. Never him hitting her, nor her hitting him. And so long as she stayed away from the old glug-glugs, she was like a pretty nice person, I guess. Most would say that. Now, however, it appeared somebody had broke into this nice family home, these hardworking folk and their 3 kids, and murdered the father as he slept in his couch. Karina would say she had been fast asleep that night, sleeping in the bedroom with their 3 kids, and she had been woken up by this almighty racket in the middle of the night at, 4:30, around that time. At first, she didn't know what the big noise was. She went into their bathroom, as they had one of those, suction cup things where you put your shampoos on it. That thing, whatever it's called. And that had fallen off a couple of days previously and scared the bejesus out of her. So she went in thinking, this thing that was in the shower had fallen again. It was right there. So then she started walking around the house looking for what was that noise. Her kids were still fast asleep in the bed. She peeked into the living room where Ryan was sleeping, or at least she thought was sleeping. She didn't turn the lights on. She then went into the kitchen, nothing, back to the living room, turned on the light. And that's when she saw him, just covered in blood. After panicking and screaming, her kids then coming down, she then tried to run for the safe to retrieve her own firearm, but she forgot the darn code. It was hours after police first arrived that Karina was interviewed by detectives. This was at around 9 a.m. that morning, June 18th, 2021. The purpose to try and find out what she knew and get some background information on the marriage.
I got up and I peeked in the living room and he was laying there, and I went to the kitchen and turned the light on in the living room, and then
Okay.
I looked in there first before I went to the kitchen and it looked like he was sleeping.
Okay.
I smelled him so. It just looked like he was sleeping.
Okay.
And then I walked up to him and touched his foot and there's blood like everywhere. Like a lot.
So you said you thought that maybe somebody was in the house? Did you hear any other sounds or commotions or anything other than the one that woke you up?
No, nothing.
Like,
Cars go by all 10 minutes and I didn't see it. I looked out the kitchen window, I didn't see anything.
okay. No sounds of like the front door slamming shut or
No,
anyone running down your deck or down your steps or anything like that?
no, nothing.
Okay.
I tried to get my stupid gun that I don't even know how to work and I've never shot out of the safe that he said we had to have, and I couldn't even get the thing open.
No real issues between the two of you? Okay.
We didn't get married till we were mid-30s. We've been through all that garbage.
Yeah.
That morning, police were questioning Karina Cooper, and they were also questioning Aaron Cooper, who had been, first person on the scene to see what he knew about the victim, about the area. It wasn't classed as a criminal investigation, mere errors after it happened.
No affairs of any kind?
No.
By him or by you? And the only reason I ask is if someone went in and did something to him, and again, we don't know. Could be that, could be medical, we don't know. I'm just thinking about like the scorned lover type of thing or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
One of the questions I have is, do you know anyone that would have any reason to hurt him? Has he had any issues with anybody?
No, nobody. He doesn't hurt anyone.
Okay.
While being questioned, though, Aaron did mention to the police that, now that something has happened to my brother, there's been rumors going around town about Karina fooling around with someone else. The Dank Man, a guy named Houston Danker. Aaron told police that his now dead brother had seen a Snapchat on Karina's phone a couple of months previous. And it was from Houston, and it was rather explicit Snapchat. Houston Danker had been a client of Karina's lasting impressions. They had met via Karina's barber shop. She had cut his hair for a few years, but, well, the haircuts were getting faster and faster. And by February of 2021, he had stopped visiting. Still, though, some of the rumors about Karina and Houston were more than rumors, let me tell you that for free. However, Karina and Houston, when asked, they would both say, we're just busy mates, we're just good friends, there's nothing more going on here at all. She would just simply, give him advice on women, she would babysit his kids from time to time, that was about it. And Ryan Cooper and their friends were aware of, some of these, it's a small place, kind of everybody knows everybody's business. So upon hearing this, the detectives did the old one more thing to Karina. Anything else you want to tell us?
What can you tell me about your relationship with Houston?
Danko?
Yeah.
My friend?
Okay. And I'm going to be blunt with you and be forward with you. The only reason we ask is Aaron made mention about maybe Ryan seeing something on your Snapchat. Not that was Houston, but there was something with your Snapchat.
Last fall, there was a Snapchat that wasn't even meant for me.
Okay, tell me about that.
Supposedly, Ryan saw it, not me. And he told me about it. It was something about a married woman and naked, seeing her naked or something like that.
Okay.
And Ryan saw it and confronted me, and I confronted Houston, who were friends on Snapchat, and that's it.
Has Houston seen you naked?
No. God, no.
Okay.
He's 22 years old.
Oh,
No.
to each their own. I'm just...
Stupid town and their rumors. No.
Okay.
I gotta say.
They also even called in Houston Danker to be interviewed that day.
Okay. what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna really cut to the chase because social media. I started law enforcement like 25 years ago. Yeah, social media, Facebook, and all that nonsense. And now that we do, every time something happens, everybody's on the internet. Why your name came up is Ryan Cooper died. See, okay, so Ryan Cooper died, and one of the first, I don't know, in the first hour, someone said, "Hey, we heard that Karina is having an affair with Houston." So that's why you're here, okay? Yeah.
Houston Danker also lived and worked in Traer. He worked at Liquid Grow, and he had 2 kids of his own. He was over 20 years younger than Karina, 21 to be precise. Overall, a pretty regular country fella, farm boy like Ryan, and he completely denied anything romantic was going on with Karina.
The rumor that's going around is Ryan, or you and Karina were Snapchatting. Did that actually happen at some point?
Yeah. You know, she watched my kids a couple times when I was in a pinch.
Okay.
And it fucking, you know how small towns talk, you know.
Exactly.
Houston's kids are over at Karina's. He's fucking nailing her, you know.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
The phrase he used was like, "I'm just like one of our gay best friends, you know, don't be coy, Roy. He's just like one of the gals."
I'll put it this way. I'll completely dumb it down. So, like,
Right.
with me and Karina, the hard thing with all that rumor being spread is I was literally sitting there like I would say, a gay best friend. I was having, you know, me and my baby mama split up, okay? I was getting my hair cut by Karina, and I have 2 kids, you know.
Right.
She loves kids, whatever, and she always told me, you know, if you're ever in a pinch, hey, you know, I don't have a problem watching your kids, whatever.
And then you described it as what, your gay friend, or how do you describe it?
The best way I could put it is, yeah, just a gay best friend, you know.
Yeah, so,
like when everybody around Traer was saying, oh, you know, Houston's nailing her or whatever, I'm sitting there like, nope,
As for his alibi, for the time when Ryan Cooper was killed, he said he was home and he lived alone. His baby mama had custody of his 2 kids, so sorry, I was home alone, I swear. I don't have any proof though. Sorry about that.
Law enforcement is investigating a homicide in Traer. The sheriff's office got a call early this morning from a house, and when they arrived, they found Ryan Cooper dead. DCI is helping the sheriff's office there investigate, and in a release, they say Cooper's death appears to be violent.
The autopsy of Ryan showed that he had been shot twice in the face with a rifle, a .22. The rifle had been fired from close range. The weapon wasn't anywhere to be seen, however, so it appeared to have been a homicide. They did find .22 caliber bullets in the home, but the box they came in wasn't missing any. So an intruder, yet the scene was strange, no sign of forced entry in the home. The family had a dog, a very protective Rottweiler named Ransom, who hadn't barked or moved an inch that night, Karina would say. No items were stolen from the home either. The only motive was Ryan's life. Pretty quickly, the police did begin to develop suspicions that Karina may have been involved in her husband's murder.
Whatever's happening between you and your husband, whatever the issues are, okay?
There are no issues. There are no issues. Because my husband sleeps in a chair in the living room?
I'm not saying that.
Because rumors flew last fall that I was sleeping with some kid that he even said was ridiculous and apologized to me for.
Zero proof though. I mean, there was those rumors, obviously, of Karina fooling around with this Houston Danker fella, even though they were both, like, vehemently denying there was anything going on. There was also some financial difficulties in the Cooper home. I mean, farming is a tough way to make a living. Karina and her, like, beauty salon business was making, you know, jack shit. And Karina actually had been overdrafts. She had overdrafts up the wazoo. So she had quite a lot of debt going on. So like some, well, you know. That would come in handy. So that plus affair equals murder. The question mark, if my math is correct. And so the investigation continued. 4 months after Ryan's murder, a reward was offered. $17,000 for any information leading to an arrest in the case. 1 year would become 2 as the family still searched for answers.
Today marks 2 years since the death of Ryan Cooper in Tama County. 2 years later, there are still few answers. The second anniversary of his death falls on Father's Day. Family was important to him. He was a devoted dad to 4 kids.
We miss him. We miss that he is missing these lifetime moments, the Father's Days.
After Ryan's passing and the years they also passed, the investigation was continuing in the background, but poor old Karina, she just kept on keeping on with her 3 kids. She did in fact get $500,000 of life insurance from Ryan Cooper's passing, so don't mind if I do. She still got the money, interestingly enough, even though a criminal investigation into how he died was still ongoing. Usually the life insurance folk don't give it out, because she could be a suspect, but she got it. Lucky for her. She later opened not 1, but 2 stores in town using the life insurance she received from Ryan's passing. One only lasted a couple of months. The other was like this little booth she opened in another shop where she was selling like homemade soaps, signs, knick-knacky kind of L-shite. That didn't last long either. She basically blew through the life insurance money like there was no tomorrow, and I mean, on top of, paying off all her debts that she owed. She then opened another business, this time an embroidery business, and can I shock you? A person who tried 2 failed businesses, third one didn't work out either, if you can believe it. And you know what? Those rumors about Karina and Houston Danker, they were really sticking in the detective's craw, especially Snapchat, as Karina was known to be very active on Snapchat, but a couple of the friends being questioned in their friend group, they would all point out that about 2 days before the murder of Ryan Cooper, Karina withdrew from all Snapchat groups. And of course, it's kind of hard. Like with Snapchat, messages are deleted. I mean, deleted. Nothing's ever really deleted. So when police had Karina's phone, they were still able to get everything that had been, deleted. But they also noticed that after they'd gotten her phone into like their custody or whatever, and were going through it, they noticed that somebody, Karina, deleted her Snapchat account remotely. I mean, she didn't even have access to it. It's like she really didn't want them looking into it. Weird. I wonder why she did that. And as I said, with Snapchat, nothing is ever really deleted. And so police found quite a lot of messages, quite a lot of little text-roonies. And you know, folks, I really shouldn't show you these messages. I mean, they're very intimate and they're very embarrassing. But I will. There was certainly a lot more fire to the smoke that was Karina and Houston having a little love affair on the side. And it was all on Snapchat, and they had it all planned out. The murder of Ryan Cooper. Mr. Danker had started out as a client for Karina at her Snip Snip barbershop. Then they fell intimately in love. I mean, it swiftly became a hell of a lot more than that. Like, let's get to the juicy messages that police found between them. I mean, they could smell bullshit coming a mile off when they're interviewing both Karina and Houston. Having said all that, just because they were having an affair and they denied it doesn't mean that they did murder. Some of the messages of them talking about the murder probably does mean they did murder. Karina, you can do anything you want with those boys. Meaning Ryan's boys, his kids. She was getting ready to move Houston in as the new dad. You are their daddy, don't need mom's permission. Cable wants to get back to wrestling. He loves it. He just got his ass kicked at a tournament and is scared to compete now. Just wants to go to practice. Doesn't want to lose. And you know what? The sperm donor, by sperm donor, she's referring to Ryan Cooper, their father, the kid's father, said to him after he got his ass handed to him, not a fucking word other than, it happens. Not, let's go home and I'll show you how to get out of that move. Just, it happens. They need you so badly. Good morning, baby. You would have woken up to your horny wife's hand wrapped around your dick this morning. Just so you know. Here's hoping for a Rouge Semi today. Big accident, no survivors. Meaning a rogue semi-truck accident would take out Ryan Cooper, leaving no survivors. Houston. Them boys need a father that's in shape, to lift with them, run with them, be able to push them. Have thought about that ever since you told me that. Can't let our kids ever feel like that. I mean, they were literally referring to themselves as married husband and wife, and our kids. These are our kids. Houston, going to sleep with my hand on your pussy very soon. Karina, soaked just thinking of you. will be downright embarrassing when I actually have you in person. Jesus, that's a very gay best friend of him. And of course, they did find texts sent between Karina and Houston in the middle of the night on June 18th. When Karina said she was sound asleep, she wasn't sawing wood. She was looking at photos on her iPhone, deleting them, and Snapchatting Houston Danker, because of course they believed the old Snapchat messages get deleted. They're not the brightest. Houston, more than anything, babe, phone's going down. Send me something after I leave your house, then wait for me to open it. Deal? That was so that he would be able to open a Snapchat at home, proving, he had been at home. Remember those casings. Fucking remember those. No ifs, ands, or buts. Well, maybe a few buts. Big ones! Because she didn't. Or she only got half of them. She forgot one of those casings, and the police found it. This case totally all came back to digital forensics, with Houston Googling shit like this. How to positively get away with murder. How to delete Snapchat data. Best ways to kill somebody with no way for anyone to find out who did it. Not by Googling it. Karina Cooper had it all planned out. She and Houston Danker were going to kill Ryan Cooper for the old $500,000. Then finally they could be together. I mean, in the messages, Houston Danker was already getting excited for Father's Day, because he was going to be, hey, I'm dad now. Isn't this great? They were already calling each other husband and wife. What started out as this little affair that began in her little barbershop, cutting his balding head, it just grew and grew and grew. Karina, she hated Ryan. She hated the situation she was living in. Friends would say that when the drunk, Karen came out, she would just completely berate him. She would say things like, I wish you were dead. I'm going to shoot you in the face. He got shot in the face. She would just fall head over heels for Houston Danker and just dream of starting a new life with him. And of course, because if she divorced Ryan Cooper, which is always like, just divorce him, well, she couldn't do that. Because she would get nothing. Because it was all owned by Cooper Farms. They themselves didn't actually own almost anything. Ryan, however, had become alerted to the affair. Karina's phone plan was made through the company, Cooper Farms, so Ryan saw all the texts and calls she made to Houston. But he seemingly never confronted her about it, or really in a way that would make it stop. And it cost him his life. The real key came, though, in the spring of 2024. A co-worker of Houston Danker's would come forward, saying that about 4 months previous, so we're talking like October of 2023, Houston had given his co-worker 3 firearms because Houston was dating a new woman. So it's like, for all the murder stuff they didn't even stay together. Houston was dating a new woman who had like a kindergarten in the home, so he had to get rid of his firearms. He gave them to this coworker for safekeeping. The coworker held onto them for a few months before calling the police and saying, hey, do you maybe just want to take a look at these? And one of those 3 was a .22 Ruger rifle. The police could never match the bullets found inside Ryan Cooper's head. They were too damaged. But that one casing that they did find at the crime scene, it matched directly to that .22 Ruger. Karina's phone showed that she had been texting Houston an hour before the murder, and also walking around the house, not sleeping. Houston's phone showed that he'd been driving near Karina's house shortly before their murder occurred. In fact, he'd been driving to and from Karina's all day, so he would know exactly how long it would take him. What is believed to have happened is Karina shot her husband dead from a kneeling position, and then gave the rifle to Houston, who drove away with it. She then waited a while before calling Aaron. And both Aaron and the responding deputies would say something seemed off about the timeline when they arrived to the scene. Karina would say that she awoke after hearing a loud bang, a gunshot. She went down, she found Ryan, she panicked for a couple of minutes before calling Aaron, who raced over, again a couple of minutes away. So from when Ryan was killed to when his brother and then the deputies arrived, minutes. But both Aaron and the deputies would say when they arrived there, the blood was darkening. Like it was coagulating. Like Karina had waited quite a while before the hysterics, the tears and the fireworks began. I mean, when you look at a body cam, what a drama queen. Karina Cooper was arrested February 2024, and she was charged with first-degree murder. She pleaded not guilty. 2 months later, Houston Danker was arrested and charged with first-degree murder also, accused of acting in concert with Karina. He too pleaded not guilty. Karina's trial began July 1st, 2025, with Karina deciding, shortly before it all began, that she wanted an Oscar. The performance is, whoa boy, it is top-tier masterclass level stuff right here. The evidence showed nobody else had come in. There had been nobody breaking into the house. The dog hadn't even barked once, and it barked at everybody. Even Karina would say the dog barked at everybody. Whoever the killer was had to have been someone who was already there, pointing to Karina pulling the trigger. She had lied and lied like a rug. However, what? The defense said, hell no! Houston was the one who killed Ryan. He done did it.
Houston Danker. Houston Danker. Houston Danker killed Ryan Cooper. Houston Danker shot Ryan Cooper in the face. Houston Danker solicited Karina. Houston Danker manipulated Karina. Houston Danker lured Karina. Houston Danker had Karina living in a dream world. Houston Danker killed Ryan Cooper. Karina Cooper was in a dream world, and then it became real, and then she was in too deep. She did not want her husband dead. She did not want his life insurance money.
That Karina, yes, okay, fine, we'll admit it. She had been having an affair, right? She had lost the run of herself. She'd gotten swept away. His tribal tattoos just did something else to her. She was living in a dream world where she imagined herself living with him.
Did you participate in the death of your husband?
No. It was an online fantasy, like going to a chat room or playing video games where you steal cars and shoot at cops. It was an online fantasy thing, and when it became a physical in-person thing, I was disgusted and scared of losing my husband.
She equated her affair with Houston as like playing Grand Theft Auto, which, really? She couldn't think of anything else to equate it to? But once they actually got physical and had sex, it was busted. Houston, he had manipulated Karina. Obviously, she's innocent, sure. She didn't even know what she was doing. She didn't want Ryan dead, nor his money. She just got caught up in the affair, and Houston decided to take matters into his own hands. And it is sort of true that, like, Karina and Houston didn't get together after the affair. I mean, there was like 3 years between when the murder happened and when they were arrested. Houston went off and met somebody else. They seemingly went their separate ways, which, yeah, as I said, I mean, they plotted all this murder. It's kind of for nothing. Karina would say Houston had killed Ryan all of his own accord because Houston had become obsessed with Karina. She didn't see whoever had actually killed Ryan, but she believed it was Houston. And the reason she didn't tell police initially that she suspected him was that she was scared. The reason she didn't tell the police after, he'd only been threatening her.
Why didn't you tell them Houston shot my husband?
I was so scared. I was scared. I was panicked. I instantly thought I was being set up in one of his plots that he laid out all the time through Snapchat.
And then did you continue to lie to law enforcement for years?
I did. I was also being threatened by Houston for over 1.5 years afterwards.
He would text her saying, describing what she was wearing, sending these texts as if he was watching her at all times. And if she once went to the police saying she believed Houston Danker had killed her husband, well, didn't Houston know some bad hombres take care of her? As who actually pulled the trigger, it's unknown. I mean, during the trial, it seemed to all point to Karina with the, no break-in, the dog not barking. But it is technically possible that Houston could have come in that night and actually shot Ryan. But it didn't really matter at the end of the day. They had both participated in the murder of Ryan. And that was what the jury found after 3.5 hours of deliberation.
For form of verdict 2, we, the jury, find the defendant, Karina Cooper, guilty of the offense of murder in the first degree, dated this 11th day of July, 2025. And Juror number 1, is that the jury's verdict?
Karina Cooper was found guilty of first-degree murder, which carries with it a mandatory sentence of life without parole. Karina Cooper will formally be sentenced in September of 2025, but I mean, you already know what it's gonna be, so I won't be sitting on one ass cheek, waiting to hear what she gets. As for Houston Danker, his trial is due to begin August of 2025. He is accused of first-degree murder also. His defense is now saying he has a full alibi for the night of the murder. He was staying with his parents, which he did not say during the interview. In the initial interview with the police, he said he was home alone.
So what was your day like yesterday then?
Went home and
And who was home with you last night?
just I live by myself.
But he will have witnesses to that effect, so who knows, Look at you. With how well it went for his compadre, would not get my hopes up for old Houston getting out of this one scot-free. But who knows? You could probably make a gay best friend prison joke in there somewhere, but I'm gonna keep it classy. And that is the story of Karina Cooper and the murder of Ryan Cooper. Maybe Houston will get away with it, who knows? Stay tuned, folks, stay tuned. But I mean, talk about Karina's lasting impressions. This case it's simply a study in overacting, if nothing else. I mean, she may have kind of put shitty effort into murdering her husband, although she did get away with it for 3 years. But she put a lot of effort into the hysterics that went along with it. Fair play to her. Thank you so much for watching, folks. I appreciate you being here. I hope you found this video interesting. It means a lot to me that you're here watching this old video. If you're looking for some more of That Chapter, you can check out the That Chapter Patreon, where for $2 a month you get early access ad-free every video, and there's a playlist of Patreon-only videos you can find there, and also some extra stuff, like the stuff I get from the FOIAs, like body cam interviews, all that kind of stuff. It's like extra materials. You can also check out the That Chapter podcast, where every Monday there's a brand new podcast exclusive case told over there, so you can go check it out. But until the next video, which will be up, sure, when it's up, please take care of each other, and please take care of yourselves, because I love you. Mike out.